Hello everyone, I am Nishu and I am here back today with the second part of the video from chapter number 3, Human Reproduction. In the last video, we discussed about the introductory part of the chapter where we discussed about that what was puberty and what was sexual dimorphism, viviparous and all those terms we have discussed. Now today in this video we are going to discuss the second part of the chapter, that is your male reproductive system. Before starting any system, before starting to study about any system, it's very important for us to know that what actually the whole system is made up of. What are the different parts which are comprising, which are making that important system. Similarly, your male reproductive system is also one of the most important part, and it is made up of a pair of testes, accessory reproductive parts, accessory reproductive glands and external genitalia. Testes, it's okay, a pair of testes is present. But when we talk about accessory reproductive parts, now this accessory reproductive parts is made up of three different duct or three different tubes, three different pipes. In biology we call them duct. Duct is a pipeline system, pipeline structure. So accessory reproductive parts of the male reproductive system is made up of vasa efferentia. It is a tube-like structure. Vasa differentia is again a tube-like structure, and urinogenital duct is also a duct, is also a tube. So these are the reproductive parts. Yes, in the last video I have discussed that primary sex organ is testis, whereas there are some secondary sex organs also which are supporting the primary sex organ. So these accessory reproductive parts, accessory reproductive glands and genitalia, external genitalia, these are the parts which will be assisting the testis. So your accessory reproductive part is made up of three parts, that is your vasa efferentia, vasa differentia and urinogenital duct. Now in the third part of the male reproductive system is accessory reproductive glands. Now there are three important glands because your parts or the testes will be only functionable properly functionable because of certain types of secretions, because of certain type of chemicals released by those parts. So your accessory reproductive glands are seminal vesicles, prostate glands and Cowper's gland. These are the three important parts which are comprising accessory reproductive glands. And the last important part which is making male reproductive system is external genitalia, and this part is your penis, which is located outside the body. So these are the various parts which are making the male reproductive system. Now children, one by one we are going to discuss each and every parts in detail. So let us begin with testes. Now in the male reproductive system, before moving ahead with each part separately, let us discuss the diagram, that how the male reproductive system looks like. You can see that on that board I have drawn the diagram and various labelings are over here. The diagram is not absolutely very complicated, it's very simple if you see. You can see that I have drawn a pocket-like structure here. This pocket-like structure is called as scrotum. Now inside this pocket you can see two bean-shaped structures. You can see this two bean-shaped structure is called as testis. Now from this testis I have drawn a very fine tubes. This very fine tube is called as vasa efferentia. Now from this very fine tube, a long tube-like structure is moving out in this manner. This long tube-like structure is called as vasa differentia. Now this vasa differentia is opening into seminal vesicle. this seminal vesicle is opening into a long tube again, which is called as urinogenital duct. Now you can see, children, that I have drawn this vasa differentium, and this vasa differentium is moving or running from the above part of the urinary bladder. This vasa differentia is not moving from downward portion, but it is crossing the urinary bladder from top and then it is moving down. So this should be paid attention to it, that vasa differentia is crossing from the top of the urinary bladder and opening in seminal vesicle is opening into the vasa differentia. Now this vasa differentia coming here and opening into a duct called as urinogenital duct. Now this urinogenital duct is opening into a penis, which is the external genitalia part of the male reproductive system. Now children, in this whole male reproductive system, half of the male reproductive system is located inside the abdominal cavity and part of structures are located in the extra abdominal cavity. Now, what is inside and what is extra abdominal? This whole male reproductive system is located in the males in the pelvis region. Now, in the pelvis region, inside the abdominal cavity, from the parts from vasa differentia till the Cowper's gland is located. Your scrotum is located in the extra abdominal cavity and penis is an extra abdominal cavity part outside the body. Extra abdominal means outside the body part. It's not internally, but these parts are externally located inside the male reproductive system. Scrotum is a pocket-like structure. There is a reason behind here that why the scrotum is outside. Because inside the scrotum, testis is located. And testis is responsible for the production of sperms. And sperm needs a very low temperature to develop inside the testis. A normal temperature of a body is 32 to 35 degrees centigrade. But which is very high for the development of the sperms. Sperms requires only 2 to 2.5 degrees centigrade temperature, which is very low, and the development of sperms can only occur at that temperature. Otherwise, the cells which are responsible for the development of the sperms will not function properly, will not divide, and the sperms will not be produced. Now, extra abdominal and intra abdominal. So, from the parts from vasa differentia, all these parts are intra abdominal part, and your scrotum is the extra abdominal structure. Now, this scrotum is connected internally with the intra abdominal part with a canal, and this canal is called as inguinal canal. This is a canal, the extra abdominal part and the intra-abdominal part, outside body part and inside body part. Both the part has to be connected with each other. So this connection needs a canal. This connection needs a passage. So that passage, that canal is called as inguinal canal. So every part which is present inside the scrotum can be connected to the internally of the male reproductive system through the inguinal canal. So this was scrotum, this was testis, then vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia is also located inside the extra abdominal cavity, inside the scrotum. Then this vasa efferentia turns into a single pipe, single duct-like structure, and that duct is called as vasa differentia. So this vasa differentia moves internally, passing through the inguinal canal into the internal part of the abdomen of inside the pelvis region of the male reproductive system, and then the rest of the reproductive part is inside the male body. Next, this testis is located inside the scrotum, and this shifting, the transfer of this testis inside the scrotum takes place when a child is inside the mother's womb during the fetal development only. During the embryonic stage only, not embryonic stage, during the fetal development only, this testis shifts from the internal part of the abdomen to the extra abdominal cavity, that is scrotum. This happens only in males because testis is a male primary sex organ which is located inside the male's body. So when the child is in fetal developmental stage, during that stage only testis migrates internally from the internal abdominal male reproductive system to the external abdominal cavity male reproductive system, that is your scrotum. I hope this much was clear for you about the structure of your scrotum. Now if I move forward ahead, then this vasa efferentia is emerging out from the inguinal canal and it is moving ahead and crossing the urinary bladder from top, and its opening connection, it is having a connection, it is having a connective place from where your seminal vesicles are connecting to the vas deferens. Now where the seminal vesicles and the vas deferens connects with each other, that part is called as ejaculatory duct. Now from this ejaculatory duct, a pipe is moving downward and urinary bladder pipe is also opening into the same vasa deferentia part, into the same ejaculatory duct part. Since here it was vasa deferentia, from here it's ejaculatory duct. Now this duct is moving down, a pipe, urethra, from the urinary bladder is opening into this pipe, and from here this pipe is called as urinogenital duct. Why it is called as urinogenital duct? Because this part of vasa deferentia was a genital part, whereas from here we know that urinary bladder is a part where urine is stored. Now this urinary bladder, from this urinary bladder, urine, now what is happening here, that in case of males there is no separate parts for the release of urine and for the release of sperms. It's only a single pathway. So the release of urine as well as the release of sperms, they both are going to take place through this pipe only, through this duct only. So from here, when the urinary bladder, this pipe connects to the ejaculatory duct, this pipe. So after this, the pipe becomes common. So this pipe becomes a common pathway for the passage of sperms as well as for the passage of urine. So this part here is called as urinogenital duct. Now this urinogenital duct opens outside the body into a penis, and penis is an external genitalia which is used for the release of urine. That means it is used for the process of urination, and plus it is also used for the insemination process, for the transfer of semen into the female reproductive system. So in the male reproductive system, I was telling you all that each and every part will be discussed in detail. So the first part was a pair of testes. You can see a pair of testes has been drawn here. This is the main important part. Now second was accessory reproductive parts. Now what are accessory reproductive parts? That is your vasa efferentia, your vasa deferentia, and then your urinogenital duct. These three parts are accessory reproductive parts, which are the main parts which are assisting the testes in the male reproductive system. Now the third part was accessory reproductive glands. So accessory reproductive glands are seminal vesicle, prostrate gland and Cowper's gland. These three glands are responsible for secretion of different types of chemicals so that the release of sperm can be the flow of sperm, the movement of sperm and the release of sperm can be easily done inside the body of male, or whereas during the transfer of the sperms into the female's body. So your seminal vesicle, prostrate gland and Cowper's gland, these are the three important parts of the accessory reproductive glands. And the last part of male reproductive system was your external genitalia. So external genitalia is penis, and this penis opens at the last verge, and this last verge is called as prepuce. Oh, this diagram is clear to you all, and all the parts which I have explained, I have told that the male reproductive system is comprising of. Hope all those parts are clear to you all by the diagram. Thank you.